"Hi, I'm Hello Kitty, and I want to talk to you about this little guy named Dinx the puppet. He's got this video about the mark of the beast and how, well, you can't take the mark of the beast by accident. They can't force you to do it. Let's hear what he has to say." And I want you to remember, everything he says is going to be rooted in a system known as dispensationalism. And we'll talk about that in a moment. Let's listen to what Mr. Dinx the puppet has to say.
Okay, so this person is concerned that they'll be forced or tricked into taking the mark of the beast. And it's actually quite surprising how many people are concerned about that. But
actually, it's not concerning. It's not amazing or surprising that people are concerned about that, because this whole system of dispensationalism is with the rapture and maybe you didn't get raptured because your faith wasn't strong enough. It's all rooted in free will dispensationalism, as opposed to the strong covenantalism which the Bible actually teaches. God made a covenant with his people. He didn't come down here just so you could maybe believe on him. He came to save his sheep. To gather together his wheat, to cast aside the tares, and to get rid of the goats. He came to save his sheep. And if you are a member of his sheep, you will be saved. This dispensationalism is a bunch of hooey. And of course, it leads into the left behind nonsense that this guy so obviously believes in. Let's continue to listen to what he says.
That comes from fear-mongering, not from Scripture. Let me make it clear, you cannot be forced and you will not be tricked. Let's actually read the passage instead of listening to conspiracy theorists. So the passage starts off with talking about the image of the beast, which is crafted and given life of some...
Okay, now we should remember that the book of Revelation is a book of symbols. It says it right in the beginning, that it's a book, everything is a symbol, right? Not everything is literal, right? There isn't a literal 4 horses of the apocalypse. There isn't a literal woman sitting on a beast named the harlot of Babylon, right? They represent things. This mark of the beast also represents something. This statue that comes to life also represents something. And remember, everything in the book of Revelation points to Jesus Christ, because it is the revelation of Jesus Christ. And Jesus Christ is revealed to us in Revelation. But let's listen to what Mr. Dinx the puppet has to say.
By the false prophet. And so what we're about to read is what that image does, whatever that image is.
You know what? That's very interesting. He says, whatever that image is. He doesn't understand what that image is. And he doesn't understand what the mark of the beast is either, as we will see.
Also, it causes all, both small and great, both rich and poor, both free and slave, to be marked on the right hand or the forehead. So there is a mandate, sure, yep. But does it say you're going to be held down and branded? No. Let's keep reading. So that no one can buy or sell unless he has the mark. That is, the mark of the beast or the number of its name. This calls for wisdom. Let the one who has understanding calculate the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. So it's saying you can't buy or sell. Where in there does it say you're going to be held down and branded?
Okay, now he doesn't really do much further except to say, you can't be forced to take the mark of the beast, without discussing what the mark of the beast is. To say you won't be forced or coerced into taking the mark of the beast means that he thinks the mark of the beast is a literal mark on your forehead and in your right hand. Well, we can see there's another place in the Bible that talks about being branded in the forehead or in the right hand, but this time is with the word of the Lord. Let's read here from Deuteronomy chapter 6, and we're going to start in verse 4. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord, and thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thine heart, and with all thy soul, with all thy might. And these words which I command thee this day shall be in thine heart, and thou shalt teach them diligently unto thy children, and shalt talk of them when thou sittest in thine house, and where thou walkest by the way, and when thou liest down, and when thou risest up. And thou shalt bind them for a sign upon thine hand, and they shall be as frontlets between thy eyes. And thou shalt write them upon the posts of thy house and on thy gates. There you see, there the Lord wants his words on the right hand and the foreheads of his people. And in Revelation, we see those who are the goats, those who are not God's people, those who are the vessels of wrath fitted to destruction. They have the mark of the beast on their front, on their forehead, or in their right hand. And we can tell that is not going to be a physical mark. It's not a microchip. It's not a vaccine. It's not anything that the dispensationalists tell you what it is, because dispensationalism is false. It's a doctrine invented by J.N. Darby in the 19th century and which took root in the early 20th century through the Schofield Study Bible. So this is just one aspect of this guy's false teaching. You're a false teacher, Dinx the puppet. You're a false teacher. And you should be ashamed of yourself. You should go learn real Bible theology. Learn what covenantalism is. And reject nonsense like Mark of the Beast and the rapture and the millennial reign of Christ. Because he has another video where he talks about the millennial reign of Christ and that Christ will literally reign on earth for 1,000 years. When the fact is, Christ reigns now. He sits at the right hand of God, reigning with all power. This earth is his. His is the kingdom. We are in the millennial age. Satan has been bound and the gospel goes forth. This has been the teaching of the church for quite a long time. Chiliasm, millennialism was condemned by the church, and maybe he doesn't know that. And then it was revived. It was revived in these latter times when people have gone astray. And because of that, people have lost a lot of hope and people have lost their faith. But then again, they were never part of the covenant people, so they never had any faith to begin with. So anyway, this is my response to Dinx the puppet. He is a little lying puppet who doesn't know what he's talking about and needs to go back to seminary. Okay, bye-bye.